here for another story time with you. I'm coming to you from my house today, and we had that big wonderful snow yesterday, which was so lovely. I hope you're all out playing in it these days. I've got an interesting story time for us today. It is going to be stories that seem in the beginning like it's gonna have a sad ending, but it turns out funny and it turns out great. So we're gonna have a funny ending story time. Don't you worry, none of these stories end in a bad way. I've got two books for us today. This one's called Brenda is a Sheep. I think this is Brenda. Does she look like a sheep? She's a wolf. Our other one is called Tad. He's a tadpole. Tadpole is a baby frog. And speaking of baby frogs, I wanted to show you guys the life cycle of a frog. So you see this says the life cycle of a frog. And let's see if I can show it to you guys. So they start as this tiny little egg. And you might have seen these actually in a pond. Let's see if I have a picture. I don't think I have a picture. I'll try to put one in. And they are, I'll put a picture in. Yeah, I can do that because of the internet. Anyways, they start out in an egg. And you can see on the picture I just put up that it's kind of a group of eggs. Then they turn into a tadpole. You can see that. Then they turn into a tadpole with legs. Do you see those tiny little legs? Then they grow, what have they grown from here to here? I see bigger legs, a tail. It's getting much bigger. And then there's a froglet. It's a baby frog. And then, dun 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 dun, the adult frog. That is called the life cycle of a frog. Can you think of something else that has a life cycle? You have a life cycle. I have a life cycle. Ladybugs, dragonflies, all sorts of animals have life cycles. Insects, it's really easy to see a very clear life cycle. So that's a little easier on a frog too, because we start as babies, and then we're a toddler, then we're a preschooler, then we're a school-age kiddo, then we're middle school, then we're a teenager, and then we're an adult. Then we middle age, and then we get older, like your grandparents. So we have a life cycle too. Anyhow, let's jump into our first book, Tad. This book is written by Benji Davis, who also did the picture. Now, there's a little subheading here. It says Tad, and then down here it says, sometimes the biggest stories have the smallest beginnings. Tadpoles start very slow. Look at these beautiful end papers. That's what frog eggs look like in the water, like we saw earlier. Isn't that a beautiful picture? All right. Thank you, Harper Press, for allowing me to read this to my friends. Oh, can't, look at that, Tad. Do you see Tad? Tad, there's a tadpole. He's in his little egg. Here we go. Tad was a frog. Well, that's not quite true. She was almost a frog. Tad was small, smaller than her Tad brothers, smaller than her Tad sisters. Tad was the smallest almost frog in the whole pond. She was so small that she had to wiggle her tail twice as fast just to keep up with the others. Keep up, they would say, or Big Blub will get you. Who on earth is Big Blub? Oh, that's Big Blub. Tad had never seen Big Blub. Big Blub, they said, was a great, big, nasty fish. Big Blub swam in the deep, darky, murky part of the pond. He was old as the mud, they said. He would wait until the sun went behind the clouds, till the whole pond was gray. Then he would glide out from the dark patches and gulp. No, Tad did not want to know. She decided to not believe in the Big Blub. But just in case, she kept to the shallow, sunny parts of the pond where Big Blub couldn't get her. And when the sun went behind the clouds, she carefully hid behind the rocks and plants. Can you see her in there? Hoping Big Blub wouldn't find her. Day by day, the tadpoles grew. They grew back legs, then front legs. They grew webbed toes. Their legs grew longer. Their legs grew stronger. Stretching their forelegs as wide as they could, they felt like they wanted to climb out of the pond. They rushed into the shallow water quicker than you or I can blink. Swoosh, wiggle, swoosh, swoosh, wiggle, swoosh. Their tails got smaller and smaller until they no longer had tails at all. We've lost our tails, we've lost our tails, they cheered, all except for Tad. You see Tad? Still has her tail. Every night they would find a big leaf and curl up together. But as the nights passed, Tad noticed fewer and fewer tadpoles were there to curl up with. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Each night, Tad counted her Tad brothers and her Tad sisters. 5, 4, 3. Where had they all gone? She didn't like to think. What did she not like to think of? Big Blub. I wonder if she thinks Big Blub ate them. I promise he didn't. Tad played in the shallows with her last Tad brother and her last Tad sister. You can't catch us, Big Blub, her little Tad sister would call out into the shadows. But soon there were just 2. It seems there are fewer of us than before, don't you think? Said Tad to her last Tad brother. And then there was only one. But she was strong and she was clever and she knew all the best hiding places. Big Blub would never catch her. Do you see those bubbles? Oh no, Big Blub! Tad swam faster than she had ever swam before. Then Tad did something she'd never done before. She swam up and up and up and up. Big Blub sank back to the deep, dark, murky part of the pond, back to the mud where he belonged. Blub, 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 blub. Tad climbed up on a rock, her big round eyes blinking at the bright sky. It felt good to be out of the water. I've lost my tail, I've lost my tail, she sang. Tad was now a frog. She had a funny feeling, a twist in her belly, spreading out to the ends of her toes. She coiled up like a tight spring and she jumped. Oh, who else do you see up there with her? I see them too. Should we count them? Let's count them together. I'm going to start way up in the corner, right above Tad. 1, 2, 3, 4 on that page, and then the other page, oh, I see eyeballs at the top. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 brothers and sisters. That's the end. Do you see what happened to all her brothers and sisters? They went up above because they were frogs now. They could be out of the water. When they were tadpoles, they had to stay in the water because their body wasn't mature or old enough to live on land. So when she thought Big Glub got them all, no, they were just up above out of the pond. So that's an example of a story we thought was going to end in a bad way, but it ended in a great way. I've got something funny to show you. I have a little friend who came along with me to story time. And this is Frogger. He likes to show that big tongue. What do you think they use that tongue for? Frogs seem to have big tongues. I think they catch flies. Hi guys, how you doing? I'm Frogger. Oh, I'm so silly looking with my big tongue hanging out. Would you like to make a Frogger of your own? Yes, they can do that. Yes, yes. Oh, I've got the supplies for you to make one of these. You can call our library and ask for the frog craft, and we'll have it for you at curbside pickup. You can also call for a book bundle. A book bundle? Have you not heard of a book bundle? No. Oh, you're in for a treat, Frogger. Book bundle is a big bundle of children's books. You call us on the phone, you tell us what you're interested in, how old you are, and you can even say, I want Berenstain Bear books, or I would like a book about buffalo and real pictures and facts and information. And we put this big bundle together for you. And then you come in the car or on your bike or walking and you pick up your book bundle with your family. And you can say, we want the frog craft too, and we'll read that with you. Sound good? Oh, I want a book bundle. I wonder what frog would get for a book bundle. I'm guessing you want to read about ponds and flies, maybe fish. Book bundle, book bundle. Oh, that was silly. I've got another fun thing for us to do. We're going to do a little rhyme. Do you see these frogs sitting in this pond? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got a little rhyme, and you're going to get one of these too if you call to request the craft. And then you can tell this little story to people in your house. And the story, the little song goes like this. You can hold up your fingers at home and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 fingers, 5 frogs. All right, here we go. 5 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. 1 jumped in the pool where it was nice and cool. Oh, oh, oh. It's taped on there rather tightly. Now, ribbit, ribbit, there's 4 green speckled frogs. Can we count them? Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that long tongue. So now we had 5, take away 1. Now you should have 4 fingers up. 4 green and speckled frogs sitting on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. 1 jumped in the pool, ribbit, ribbit, where it was nice and cool. Ugh, almost dropped my pond. Now there's 3 green speckled frogs. We had 4, let's take away that one. So now we have 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 frogs. 3 green and speckled frogs sitting on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. 1 jumped in the pool where it was nice and cool. Now 2. 3, take away 1. 2 fingers. 2 green and speckled frogs sitting on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. 1 jumped in the pool, ribbit, ribbit, where it was nice and cool. Ribbit, ribbit. How many's left? 1 green speckled frog. 1 green and speckled frog sitting on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. He jumped in the pool where it was nice and cool. And now there's no green speckled frogs. Another word for that is 0. Do you know 0, the hero? That means nothing. So when you have 1 left and it goes away, 0, none. You can call for this craft too. And I'd like it if you would tell that little rhyme to someone in your family. I'll include the words to that little rhyme, and you can do that with your family. That would be really fun. It'll look more like this though. This is what the craft will look like. You'll get a sheet of paper with all these friends. There's that nice log. And here's the words. So you'll color these, then cut them out and glue them to a piece of paper. And you can do that craft with your family. Okay? All right, one more book. This one is called, sorry, it's on the floor. This one's funny. And I love the illustrations. There's something about those simple illustrations. And I love this bright green and red. This is called Brenda is a Sheep. And it's written, and the illustrations, the pictures are done by someone named Morag Hood. Thanks to, let's see who our publisher is. Thank you so much, Random House New York, for letting me read this to my friends. Here we go. Oh, I'll read this. These are sheep. Yeah. This is also a sheep. Is that a sheep? This sheep is called Brenda. Brenda has a very nice woolly sweater. Brenda does all the things that sheep do because she's Brenda the sheep. And oh, look here, all the sheep are going, bah, bah, bah. Let's listen to what real sheep sound like. I'll put it on. The sound of farm animals. The sheep learn lots of new games from their friend Brenda, like how to play catch. I don't think Brenda looks very happy. Like teeth sharpening. Gotta do that. And tag. Brenda loves to play tag. But no matter how hard she tries, she can never catch anyone. They always get away. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I think Brenda's, what kind of animal? A wolf. A wolf in sheep's clothing, as they say. She's pretending to be a sheep wearing a wool sweater. But guess what wolves like to eat? Sheep. So when she's playing catch, when she's sharpening her teeth, playing tag, I think she's really trying to capture them and yum yum, eat them up. The sheep think Brenda is probably the best sheep they have ever met. She is so very tall, she has nice pointy teeth, and her wool is knitted and colorful. All the sheep want to be just like Brenda. You see the little flag? Brenda, Brenda. But Brenda has other things in mind. Oh, look at all those sheep. They're knitting sweaters for each other just to be just like Brenda. They are, oh, they're dyeing the wool. I see I see, it's a cycle. They're shaving. I'm gonna hold it up here. So take the wool off. Then they put it on this spinner. They spin it into yarn. Then they knit it. And then it becomes sweaters for everybody. Oh, I forgot we have to dye it. There was a picture, oh, right over here. Right here, they're dyeing, so sorry. They're dyeing the yarn orange. But look what Brenda's up to. You know what her recipe book says? 101 sheep recipes. I promise this doesn't end that way. She is working hard on her special mint sauce recipe. The sheep had never had Brenda's special mint sauce, but she tells them it's very, very tasty. You just need to find the right thing to eat it with. Kind of like ketchup or jam, you have to put it on something, it's a sauce. Luckily, Brenda knows just the thing. She is getting ready for a big feast. Look at her licking her teeth. The sheep are very excited. Brenda tells the sheep to go to bed nice and early. She says there'll be a surprise for them in the morning. A delicious surprise. Brenda has to wait a very long time for the sheep to go to sleep. That's kind of like my kids too. But at last they begin to nod off. One by one, Brenda counts them on her claws. 1 yummy sheep. 2 yummy sheep. 3 yummy sheep. Bzz. Brenda's out asleep. Oh my gosh. Now look at this. Brenda's asleep. And look, I think those sheep are up to something. Do you see how they look mischievous? They look like they're doing something special. Bah! I think that's like sheep surprise. By the time Brenda wakes up, the sheep have made a surprise of their own. There's grass stew. I'll hold this up. Let's see if I can read backwards. There's grass stew, grass pie, grass burgers, grass sausages, grass sandwiches, grass, I can't read that one backward, lasagna, grass, with a delicious sauce. Oh, this is the mint sauce. And a grass, it's not mint, that was Brenda's. And for dessert, you guessed it, grass cookies. Look at that one more time so you can really see. This is not the feast Brenda had planned. But when she sees everything her friends have done for her, Brenda can't help but join in on the fun. Oh, look at that. Brenda is best. And they even made little pictures of Brenda. Oh. Brenda can't help but join in on the fun because, after all, Brenda is a sheep. Oh, isn't that a happy ending? I fell in for the craft, the 2 little frog crafts, and I hope that you will call in for some book bundles. You just call our children's desk at 582-2404, and Cindy, Kate, Kathleen, Julie, Brenda will answer, all the children's librarians, and will help you find some great books. I hope you have a great week and get out in that snow and play, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.